Y'all killing me with this.
Like when I started watching this, I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Right out the gate, we're already talking like early 2000s comedy Joe Rogan. He starts making like weed jokes. You know when comedians, they make those weed jokes, they go, and they go, oh, I just came up with an epiphany, right? That's such an outdated type of joke, you know? Those like weed epiphany jokes were only funny when weed was illegal. And granted, it's not legal everywhere, but it's legal in enough places to where like nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like getting high is not as funny as it used to be when it was like this forbidden fruit kind of thing. You know what I mean? And for him to start the special out with this like weed epiphany joke, he legitimately goes and then says like the punchline of the joke. You know what I mean? It's like the most hack shit ever, dude. Like, watch this.
This is my new home state. I've been living here for 4 years. I fucking love it. I love it here. I'm never moving. The only adjustment I've ever had to make is Texas weed. You think it's the same? Texas weed is different.
Texas weed is different, folks. It's not the same. It's different. Why? Because it's shittier. Is it because it's worse than California weed? Is that why it's different? The punchline is so bad to this. He's like, it's different because it's grown on Indian burial ground soil. You know, sorry for anyone that I ruined that punchline for. You know what I mean? But trust me, it's not all that great. And look, we're less than 2 minutes in, folks, and look at that fucking tit sweat already. God damn it! I'm telling you, by the end of this thing, that motherfucker's gonna be fucking drenched. I'm telling you. Now let's listen to this oh so funny punchline.
Weed is grown on Texas soil. And I believe this soil has memories.
Oh, here it comes. The puff.
Because if you smoke too much Texas weed, you're like, we gotta give this land back.
Oh, dude. Come on, man. That's some bullshit. Like this, like I said, this is like early 2000s humor here, man. Like these are very outdated jokes right out the rip. Now, remember last time there were a couple points that I brought up. I keep bringing them up. The mumbling, the fear factor, the yelling, the outdated premises, recycling shit that you heard from the podcast. All these combined make the perfect shit special. And less than 5 minutes in, well, no, not less than 10 minutes in, I should say. It's actually a little after 5 minutes in. We already start hearing, well, I was the host of Fear Factor. Like we didn't see that one coming.
Maybe that's how they get our DNA, you know? That's how they get cum out of donkeys. I used to host Fear Factor.
There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I used to host Fear Factor. None of us saw that one coming. None of us saw that one coming, folks. Did you know Joe used to host Fear Factor? I didn't know Joe Rogan used to host Fear Factor. Actually, to this, I've watched literally almost every episode for the past 3 years. I had no idea this guy hosted Fear Factor. So, you know, right out, and he continues on to go about like this jizz donkey joke, right? So that's one right there. That's one of like the 6 points that I made. The 6 tenets of Joe Rogan special. That's one of them. The fear factor, right? Now he goes on, this joke is him telling a story about how Fear Factor got canceled for them making contestants drink cum on camera, right? We've all heard this on the podcast.
And thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a true story. Fear Factor was canceled because we made people drink donkey cum. So I think I'm the only guy in the history of Hollywood that lost a job because people had to drink cum. Usually that's how you get a job.
Oh. I mean, come on, dude. That's like, I heard that story countless times. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard that goddamn story, right? So we're already off to a bad start here. A very bad start. And mind you, we're less than 10 minutes. This is less than 10 minutes into the episode. We got the yelling. We got the fear factor. We got the old stories from the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. What are we missing? We're missing a good old... Wait, what are we missing? What are we missing here? Oh, yeah. Old washed up premises. Watch this guy talk about COVID. This is like one of the bigger jokes in the special.
And they're watching. If they were going to come, I think they would have come during COVID. You know, it's just good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III.
You see that? We got to go back to that. I'm going to zoom in on his face after he does it. Look at that awkward laugh. He's because he even has to know in his head, like, why am I talking about COVID? Like, what's the point of me talking to this? We're so over this shit. Like, they could go on the news tonight and say that they just came out with the worst, deadliest strain of COVID that has ever existed. Nobody would care. We're all over that shit. So the jokes, they're not landing anymore, buddy. I mean, they're really not landing. They're gone, okay? Like, we're over this shit. Let's listen to a little bit more of this. Listen to this laugh. If
they were going to come, I think they would have come during COVID. You know, it's just good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III.
Look at it. Right after that laugh.
COVID was just so...
He sees it. He knows. Let's stay zoomed in and go back a little bit.
Come during COVID. You know, it's just good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III.
You see that? He's worried. He's like, dude, this isn't going as smoothly as I thought it would. He's fucking sweating. Metaphorically and physically. Like I said, by the end of this special, that yellow shirt is going to be looking a little dark, my friend. It's going to be wet, okay? Very wet. Now we got, like 4 of the 5 or 6 Joe Rogan tenets that we need to make the perfect shitty special, right? Let's check out a little bit of the mumbling of the words. Mind you, we are still... less than 10 minutes in, he's hit every single shitty point that he possibly could from the last. This guy has made no progress from the last fucking special. Watch this.
I just made that up, but doesn't it make sense? You believed me. It tracks. Men are so gross. You can't even sit up in front of a camera with a computer with a webcam pointed at us.
God damn, what the fuck was that, dude? That is fucking bad. Let's listen to that one. This guy, I mean, he really fucking tripped over that one. Listen to this.
Men are so gross. You can't even sit up in front of a camera with a computer with a webcam pointed at us. What the fuck?
What the fuck was that, dude? This guy fucking... Dude, he sounds like Joe Biden, right? He's always making fun of Joe Biden. This guy's mumbling like he sounds like he's in the middle of debating Donald Trump right now. This guy sounds insane, bro. He might have smoked a couple too many doobies before he got on stage, if you ask me. He's fucking flailing this. Look at his face right now. He is fucking like, God damn, I'm fucking hurting. He is fucking hurting. This guy is hurting.
Without a guy thinking.
I really got to work on the sensitivity of this goddamn mouse button. That shit is fucking me up. All right, let's check out this next time code.
And a lot of people say, hey man, you're a fucking hypocrite. You'll say the R word, but you won't say the N word. Yeah! Because I'm more afraid of black people than I am retards. Duh. Yeah, don't you know how jokes work, faggot?
What the fuck?
FBI, open up!
This guy has just transcended all of comedy. He has just opened up the floodgates again. Everyone's going to be able to say the word faggot because of Joe Rogan. How awesome is that? Let's listen to that again. He's so happy. Like, he like puffs his chest out when he says it. Watch this.
Yeah! Because I'm more afraid of black people than I am retards. Duh. Yeah, don't you know how jokes work, faggot?
Yes.
It's all just supposed to be funsies.
Look at how happy Joe is, man. Let's give it up to Joe for bringing the F word back, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I would give him a round of applause, but I mean, my hands are broken. So let's jump into some other topics. You know, the special was bad. It was no good. Oh, actually, before we even jump into some other topics, I got to show you guys how it's not just me. Like, when I make these videos, right? This is a common thing. I make these videos, and people in the comments, they like to go, "Oh, you're just a hater. Oh, a guy is just trying to point out everything negative about stuff online. You know, most people watch stuff, they try to pull positive out of it." I don't give a shit. That's legitimately the whole thing here, is to point out the bad stuff that happened in what we watched, because you see it in such a rose-colored lens, you know? Like, you know, you need people to point out the shitty stuff about what you just watched, especially when everybody else is fluffing it up so bad, right? But I'm not the only one who received this special in an ill way. Look at the comments that are on the fucking Joe's Twitter post promoting this special. This was the day that it came out. Tonight on Netflix, let's fucking go, is Joe's caption for this post. Hide your stools, Mr. Unfunny about to start humping. I love that comment because in one of his past comedy specials, one of his jokes was to hump the stool on stage on the floor, which is some typical Brendan Schwabi bullshit. Look at this. It's wild that they keep giving you a comedy platform, seeing as how you're not funny at all. I like Joe Rogan and enjoy his comedy specials, but I have to admit he bombed big time on this one. Not worth the hype at all. Had a couple of good jokes, but that was it. Pretty disappointed in this special. Great podcast, not so great comedy. Jesus fucking Christ. Look, this special sucks. Finally, the world sees how unfunny and bad at stand-up he is. Great podcast, great UFC announcer, but that's it. See, like, that's the thing. It's not like people want to hate on Joe just for being a bad stand-up. They hate on him for being a bad stand-up and that being his whole identity. That's what he tries to make his whole identity. He's like, I'm a stand-up first and foremost. But he's not good at it. And something that people really don't pick up on is when you listen to people talk about Joe and touring with Joe on his show or even off of his show on other podcasts, they always talk about how Joe pays for everything. How they never have to pull out their wallets. And he's been doing this since he got that Fear Factor money, which leads a lot of people to speculate that he's pretty much bought his way into comedy. And there's a lot of stuff to kind of like back that speculation. Like, if I was somebody who wanted to buy my way into comedy, I would pay for all of my openers' shit all the time because they would never have a bad thing to say about me afterwards, right? How hard would it be to talk shit about the guy who's not only taking you on tour and paying you for every gig that you're doing, he's paying for every meal when you guys go out, every drink when you guys go out, and he's paying for your hotels everywhere you go. I mean, you couldn't, like, you almost couldn't say a bad thing about this person. Like, they're doing so much for you. It would be so hard for you to do that, right? So that's the way I would start. then once I got, famous and maybe started a podcast that ended up being the biggest podcast in the world, I'd maybe open a comedy club to where I could then perform to a crowd that strictly there just to suck my dick and a bunch of comedians who are there just to kiss my ass. And I get laughs all the time. And then I can live the pretend life of being a comedian because I bought all the necessary components. And that's how a lot of people viewed Joe, and a lot of people viewed this special, which is why I wanted to bring it up myself, because I'm a fan of the Joe Rogan show. Lately it's been a little shitty, but I'm still a fan. I don't watch a whole lot of UFC, but I enjoy listening to his commentary on UFC, and I actually kind of enjoy watching the Fight Companions, despite the fact that Brendan Schwabe's on there. I like hearing about all the UFC stuff, and when he has crazy retarded people like fucking what's that one guy? He was a UFC fighter. He's always the flat earther. I forget his fucking name. I'm gonna have to remember that. The flat earther he has on there, and sometimes, like when he has those guests on there, it's actually kind of entertaining to watch Fight Companion every now and then. But these comedy specials, I'm telling you, they're not it.
And hold my fart like a bong rip.